We have the pleasure now of welcoming Daily Caller reporter Chuck Ross. Chuck, you're writing today about an interview that you had with Trey Gowdy, the congressman who's on the House Intel Committee, and he's been examining this Trump dossier, the mysterious document that is at the center of this entire Russia investigation. Tell us about what Trey Gowdy is saying today.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Vince. So I talked to Congressman Gowdy on Friday, and this is a couple of days after there's been a brouhaha on the Hill among Democrats who are accusing Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee of unfairly subpoenaing Attorney General Jeff Sessions and FBI regarding this dossier. So Gowdy and his fellow Republicans want to know some details about the dossier, about how it was vetted and everything. So I talked to Gowdy, and he told me that, he's questioning why Democrats are pushing back so hard on Republicans trying to find out information of the dossier. He gave me some pretty good quotes. He told me that he suspects that it's possible that Democrats are fearful of the dossier, that it may be a piece of fiction. And the veracity of the dossier is important in the whole Trump collusion investigation, because the dossier could be a very significant basis for the whole entire investigation. So if we find out that the dossier lacks credibility, if some of the sources were exaggerating or lying, then that puts a huge dent in the entire collusion investigation.
Did Congressman Gowdy say anything about the fact that it's sort of confusing that Democrats would be upset that a Republican intelligence committee, a Republican-led one, has subpoenaed the Trump-led Justice Department and the Trump-led FBI?
No, they, interestingly enough, they're not noting that Gowdy and his fellow Republicans are essentially asking the Republican administration for information. So they leave that out when they are criticizing this effort to find out about the dossier. So in Congressman Gowdy's case, he's looking for answers here, and his belief, as you said, is that the Democrats are worried that at the end of this, there'll be nothing within the dossier. Now, is Congressman Gowdy at all interested in who was responsible for producing the dossier or financing it? Well, that's interesting. What he told me, first of all, he said he's read through the dossier twice. He studied it ahead of interviews for the House Intelligence Committee.
Yes.
He didn't make a determination on whether the dossier, whether he believes it's truthful or inaccurate. He just wants to know answers about how the Justice Department and FBI vetted the information. He doesn't necessarily want to know the names of sources, because that's going to be very, highly sensitive information. He just wants to have reassurances from Attorney General Sessions, FBI Director Christopher Wray, that the agencies vetted this document before they used it to form the basis of this massive investigation. Yeah. So, yes. He also had some interesting remarks about Susan Rice as well, the former National Security Advisor.
Yeah.
One thing the House Intel Committee is looking at is this whole unmasking scandal, which members of the Obama administration saw names of Trump administration or Trump campaign officials who were identified in some of these, reports about conversations with Russians. Some of these names were leaked then to the media, and some of this information may be classified. So these are leaks of classified information. Susan Rice has been one of the people identified as a person who unmasks. But the question is, did she do it for political reasons, and did she leak that classified information to the media? Gowdy told me, interestingly enough, and Gowdy has had a past with Susan Rice in the whole Benghazi scandal, because Susan Rice lied about the cause of the Benghazi attacks. So Gowdy is a big critic of Susan Rice, but he said that she seemed forthright in this interview, and that she adamantly denied being an illegal leaker and improperly unmasking. So that was an interesting bit that he told me. It was kind of a side note to our longer interview.
So your impression, though, was that Congressman Gowdy was satisfied by Susan Rice's answers?
He was satisfied with her answers. He didn't come out exactly say that she was completely cleared in any wrongdoing, but the way he said it, very carefully, that he was satisfied with what she said. And, that told me that, kind of speaking back to the entire reason that Gowdy is kind of in the limelight right now, he's a aggressive investigator, but he is willing, I guess, to point out when the facts are lining up on one certain way. He's willing to acknowledge that, that Susan Rice and Democrats are not involved in any misdeeds here. So that gets back to his question about the dossier. He just wants answers, and the Democrats are stonewalling that.
It's interesting how that's building up, because he's clearly dissatisfied, and I think that a lot of the American public is too. They want answers, and they want both the FBI and the Justice Department to provide them to their duly elected representatives. Chuck Ross, thank you, reporter for the Daily Caller. You can read Chuck Ross's exclusive coverage today on dailycaller.com. Thanks, Chuck.